Alright, showing you guys how I did my battery relocation on a 4.6 Mustang. There's no wrong or right way to do this, but I did this the legal way. Since this is a bracket car at the track, first things first, this needs to go through the frame. At least one of these do. Obviously this one goes right underneath the gas tank. I got it vented. You can see my vent tube. Cut a little hole there. I have my ground going through the battery box, through the existing grommet that's right beneath that. I'll show you how that looks. And if you can see it, there's the vent tube. There's my negative cable going to an existing, I believe it's for the quad shocks bolt. That's like, and right below it is the nut for the stud. That's locked tight. That ain't going nowhere. So let's show you how I routed the cables. I did one side of the cable inside the car, one outside the car, just to be different, I guess. But so I'll walk you through it. You got your positive going to a slow burn fuse, which is 150 amp. And then it goes to the other side here, and that goes all the way up to the switch. This is a Summit Racing switch. And then here is the alternator line, and that goes all the way, boop, boop, all the way to the back there. This is going through the interior. I have it going through underneath the seat. You're not gonna be able to see it, but you get the idea. There's a hole I had to drill over here, so now I have it underneath this sill. And then I got it going on the floor and out the firewall, where I had to drill another hole. The best way to describe it is get the front end up, pull the skin off, and there's going to be a pinch weld, kind of like right here, about maybe like hand length in. Just drill to the right of that and you'll be golden. You'll be right on the floor. I used, obviously, a step bit is your best friend in this project, because a lot of the cable like I used is 1 odd, which is about 3/4 diameter or 1/2 inch diameter, I forget. But I used 3/4 diameter grommets for 1/2 inch cable. That's what it was. So I have the cable up, going up by the coilover a little bit, but to the left by the CRM. And there it is with the thermal sheathing. I got it coming to the stud of the alternator, and I cut off the stock little grommet thing, and I put it on my new cable, which is 1 odd. And here's the old one. I taped it off and put a tube over it. If anybody can tell me if I can eliminate this whole thing completely, that'd be great. But I think there's, like, there's connectors that go along with it and all that stuff. That's not a connector for that, that's a line lock. But down here there's a bunch of connectors that control your starter. And as for the starter, which is this pinkish line here, I cut the terminal off, and when you do that you have like 2 lines, and I just soldered them together. I got them inside this sheath right here, because one obviously goes to the fuse box and one goes to the starter, so I left that alone. So I left all the stock wiring in place. I know some people are into like car shows and want to make it clean. That's not me. Now I cut the terminal off the negative side, and I grounded it right here to an existing ground. And then this had to be grounded too, this wire here. I grounded it here. Now this wire, I don't know if I needed a grounder or not. If I can just cut it off and tape it off, because you can see this is the factory ground, and this would go to your factory terminal if it was still on the car. And I just brought it back in, so it's like ground. I don't think that's right, but the car runs, so that's good. This is my other cable that I routed up here. Another 1 odd. This is going through the bottom of the car. This is going through here. I don't have a washer fluid bottle, so that might be in the way for your case. But there's plenty of other room over here too if you want to do it. And you actually can see my wire coming through, because it goes through the fender and pops up here. It's an easier bend. But I have it going through the wheel well, and it comes down, and you can see it with the sheathing on there, the thermal sheathing, which is always a nice touch, and also it gives it an extra protection from any kind of rocks or nicks. But again, this car, I maybe put 1,000 miles on it a year. I have my old school eBay subframe connectors, which are hollow, which are great for running nitrous lines or cable. So I got that in there. I have it sticking out of the cable there. The only thing that sucks now, I gotta be careful when I want to put the jack stands on it without pinching the line. And I have it held on up there, keep going, and I eventually have it going through the bottom of the car, and it's gonna be popping out right here. So here's the existing wire. Again, grommets are your best friend. Use those a lot. Again, they got these from Amazon. These are slow burn 150. It came with a 250 amp, but I'm like, I don't have a 250 amp alternator. I don't have subwoofers. I don't have anything like that. So I bought the 150 amp separately. And then from there, I have it going. Yes, I drilled a hole into my amps. Very shallow though, so they're barely holding on. So I don't think it hurt anything. If it did, whoopie-doo. And then I have that going up to here. And as for my shutoff switch, this is the Summit shutoff switch, and I use rivet nuts, whatever you want to call them, and 1-inch spacers, and it's in there. I hope it doesn't rip out. I hope it's legal, but we'll see. I know they state, the NHRA states it has to be in the back of the car, furthest back of the car, which it is, but it's on the trunk lid, so I might have to go back to the drawing board. And I cut out the keyhole. So my rod, it went from 18-inch to 11-inch to make this work. It's in the keyhole, and my key, I put it behind the, right here. It's boogered in here with silicone, holding it in. It's behind the license plate, so in case of emergency I have to use a key, I have it. And since I shortened it, this is how far it sticks out, which is nice. So that's on, that's off. See, off, on. Pretty simple. Yeah, any questions, let me know. I'll try my best. This is my first time doing this as well, and I had a lot of questions, and I followed some people on social media as the way they did it. I also have a good friend that does it way neater and fancier and cleaner than I do, and I shout out to Dale. But other than that, it works, and I'll hopefully go to the track in a month and see if I pass tech. Fingers crossed.